Any second now. Actually, hi everyone. If you're watching a recording, do fast forward about 2 minutes before we get started here. I'm gonna see if I can get me up and running on Twitter. There we go. It's been so long out of the studio, I barely remember how to do this stuff. It's like, what am I supposed to do to get this to happen? There we go. Okay, select the source. There we are. Okay, I think Twitter is up and running. Yay! So we're on 5 channels today. What are we doing? Okay. Oops. So we're on 5 channels today. You guys hear the echo? What are we doing? Okay, there we go. Turn off the turn off the speaker. Don't need to hear myself twice. That kind of thing. All right. So here we are. It is Wednesday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Pretty exciting stuff. Andy says, I'm not up and running. Let's check. Still trying here. Is it up on QTalk? Okay. Looks like Twitch and YouTube are up and running. Oh, QTalk is up and running. It's good. I think it's just a little lagging behind on the personal page. Do you want me to restart it? I'm not sitting here talking to myself, but then I am always sitting here talking to myself. But I am talking to Andy. He's in my ear telling me what's going on out there. So it is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. So today, it's been 3 weeks, can you believe it, since I have been back here and live. I hope you all enjoyed the tour of Springfield Leather on Monday. If you didn't catch it, you really might want to go back and take a look because it was a lot of fun being there. And, you know, it's funny, I already had a comment that, we need to do a road trip to Springfield, Missouri. Don't know what else is there, but I don't think I need another reason to go to Springfield. But you know what, the other thing that was really cool about Springfield Leather is there was a taco truck in front in the parking lot right under that billboard with the corgi that I showed you in the video, and it was really good. So I got a bonus that day. Not only did I get my leather and all the things that I needed, I got a tour, I got to talk to Kevin, I got street tacos, so it was a great day. And then I, got in the car and drove for another 10 hours to get down to Amarillo. Not 10 hours, what was it? Probably 8 hours to Amarillo that day, and kept going on my way to Vegas. But Vegas was really great. So was Salt Lake and being in Stephanie Chavez's studio, and also Salt City Smithery, which was also a great studio. If you are out there in the Utah area, do swing in or look them up. They have a lot to offer, and the studios are amazing. Each have their own charm, but equipped with a lot of stuff. And it was nice to be there. Again, it was also nice to take a little time out with Asia to go hiking in Bryce. And it's funny because a friend of mine said, did you post that? And the answer was, no, I haven't had time. I'm catching up on everything else as we just closed down Virtually Ever Crafting and finished the 5th round of Virtually Ever Crafting. And we are already planning on the 6th round in October. So be on the lookout for that. And we'll get registration up probably in about 6 weeks. So there it is. Okay, so Andy tells me that the personal page is still not up. I'm going to go ahead and toggle it on and off and see if I can get it to jump start. Okay. Oops. No, I don't want it to remove. Okay. Give that another try. So, but that's not the most important page, right? Right. Okay. Anyway, but we're glad you're here, and thanks for swinging in and checking us out. Let's get started. So I was trying to think of, because I'm behind, of what we can do today, and I had this little project in mind, and it was really, again, it's a simple stud earring project, okay, is what we're going to be doing today. And then it occurred to me, you know what? It could have very well have been part of Start From Scrap. So I'm using a lot of scrap material, as I always do, and we're going to make a great little pair of earrings today. So what are you going to need? What I'm using today is a 3 by 1 millimeter, right? Yeah, 3 by 1 millimeter piece of rectangle wire. If you don't know about it, rectangle wire is usually listed by dimension and not by gauge, so never ask for gauge when you're talking about rectangle wire. But I also have some scrap pieces here. We have some 20 gauge wire, sterling silver, and a piece of scrap here to make some discs. We're going to go ahead and make studs today. What you'll need to do this project is you're going to need well, if you don't already have discs, you'll need a disc cutter, a pair of heavy duty cutters, and I don't know about the pliers. We'll see what pliers I end up using, but I think these round nose looping plier with the nylon is going to be really great. And why do I have these cutters? I don't know why I have these cutters, but you definitely need a student file to make this happen too. Oh, you know, you'll need a pair of chain nose pliers. Now, of course, because we're soldering, you're going to need all the things to solder with: a torch, a pickle pot, fire tweezers, and all that good stuff. So let's see. Is that Andy trying to call me? Who else is calling me? Nope, that's not Andy. We didn't get disconnected. We're good. It is spam, as always. Anyway, okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to go ahead and take out this piece of wire, and we're going to just make it into, actually, you know what? Let's start with a stud. I take it back. We're going to start with a stud. Okay, so to make the stud, I really want to straighten the wire that I have here. It's just a little inch piece. Again, it's, you know, it's scrap because we don't need that much to use here to make a stud. And I'm going to put it between 2 bench blocks and roll it out to get it really nice and straight. See? Isn't that nice? That's my big trick of the day. There we go. And then I'm going to just take a disc. Okay. And I'm going to move it right into place. Don't mind my head here, because I can't see it. Otherwise, let's see. So apparently the personal page still is not working. Oh well. Everybody should be on the Q Talk page anyway, right? Or Twitch, or YouTube, or Twitter today. Okay, so there we are. We're going to punch this out using our disc cutter. Now, you know what? The thing is, the disc cutter, I resisted buying a disc cutter for a really long time because I just felt they were too expensive and I would never get my use out of them. But I'm discovering more and more that I use it so often, especially since we started doing all this stuff at home and 170 projects later. But I use it so often, and what's great is that I can punch out discs and save all the scrap that I have sitting around. And it's a great use of your scrap is to be able to create little discs like that. Okay, I just remember why I have these little cutters. We're just going to cut this piece in half and like that. And I'm just going to cut one end off here just to get it a really nice flat edge. Those are flush cutters, but there's a tiny little bevel. So I'm getting that set for soldering because we're going to make posts out of this, right? Okay, we'll set that aside. And then next up, we're going to take this flat wire and we're going to make it into a spiral. So the question really is, do I want a round spiral or do I want a little square spiral? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. The bigger question here is, can I get them to be the same? That's always a trick, right? But you know, this project is so simple. You can do a round spiral, you can do a triangle spiral, or a square spiral. You know what? I don't think that's going to work if I want to go with square. So let's change out to some chain nose. It's going to be, how about this? It's going to be square-ish. You see how I did that? I flipped it over and I'm giving it a good squeeze so I can get both sides fairly square. Now, if you want this really, really square, then you'll take out your saw and saw into those corners to create a much sharper edge. Okay, so I'm just going to put this in here and continue to squeeze like so. And I'm feeling like this is getting really big, so maybe not a square. I think I'm going to go back to a spiral, because I don't want these to be really big. They're just meant to be little studs. Okay, we're going back to this. And the reason why we have these nylon, one half of this being nylon, is so that we don't mar the outside of this piece, right? Okay. Whoa. That's a tough bend. So the heavier the wire is, the harder this is going to be. I know that. So I'd like this to be a little tighter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my nylon nose, and we're just going to give it a little bit of a squeeze. I'm sorry, my chain nose, not my nylon nose. And give a little bit of squeeze like that, just to get it a little bit tighter. We're just going to keep bending this. Okay, just like that. See how I'm moving it together? I want it to be a spiral, but I don't want it to be so tight that the sides are touching. So this is sort of tricky, because of course it's going to want to bend into itself, like so. So just to let you know, Andy wanted to let you know that we are sold out of this tool right now, but we are getting more in about a week, okay? Okay. I don't know, something like that, sort of cute. Let's see. I want it to be bigger than my disc, or thereabouts anyway. So I'm just going to trim this off. So, but I do want it to be a little bit tighter. You know what? Because it's already work hardened from all this twisting, I'm going to go ahead and anneal it. So remember, annealing is just a process of heating the metal to open up those molecules to make it more pliable. So you just want to heat this until it's rosy. You don't need to go red. Unless you really want it to reticulate, then keep going. But I don't think so. I like it just like this. Okay. And the reason why I'm choosing rectangle wire today is because I like how the thickness of it. It gives it a little bit of body, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and keep making this turn, and I'm going to go ahead and make it tight and pull it back out. Even though I said earlier I did not want it really tight. See, I didn't want to spiral quite like that, but I'm going to pull it back out here in a second. I want to see if I can get the inside a little, ooh, well, so much for that. Hold on a second. I just want to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, we're going to try to keep it here. Slippery little suckers, huh? And we're going to try to do this without pinching ourselves. Okay. You know, I've done this before, and it's like with trying to get things tight like this, and I just miss and pinch my finger instead, which is never pretty. Okay, so to get this even tighter, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of a hammer to it and see if I can get this to tighten down. So I'm going to turn it on its side. I need a smaller hammer. Hmm? So Andy just asked a question. Can I just put this in a vise and turn the vise? Well, yeah. I don't know why I didn't even think of that. But, but wait, I have another tool. You know, it's interesting. These are 2 cutting pliers that I like to do this with. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, I sort of turned it, and now I'm going to pull it back out just to give it some space and dimension. If I can actually do that. I don't know. I think that was a bad plan on my part. So what you're discovering is we do these things very organically. It just sort of happens, right? Actually, there we go. So I just grabbed that center piece and was able to push it in. And notice how I'm switching between pliers as needed. And that's sort of important, is when you're working, you got to be fluid and use what you have. And it's about identifying your need. So here I have a jeweler's knife, and I'm going to see if I can wedge it right in there, because I didn't think it was going to do what it did. Tighten up so much. Actually, you know what? I'm going to kneel it one more time. It's cute, but not the cute I wanted. Again, sometimes it's just about working through to make it happen. Good quench. Let's try not to cut ourselves. Huh. Also, just wanted to let you know, those of you who were looking for the half-size step ring mandrels, it is actually in stock. Yay. Okay, I'm frustrated, so I'm going to leave that aside for a second while I move on to the next piece. Orb. What was I thinking? I was thinking that it's going to be really malleable and I would be able to churn it easily. But no, can't do that. So we're just going to go with the next piece. As I do that again, throw it across my table. Turn it really tight. Gonna try to match this one, right? Like I did before. So take out the chain nose and bring it in a bit. Again, we're gonna try to match it up. Nice. Again, when you're making earrings, I'm constantly checking to see, I'm checking for it to be even size and shape, right? Because you want it to match. Of course. Okay. See, this is the spiral I wanted and was unable to get to earlier. I might just leave that. Who knows? Let's see. So some of you may have seen my post on Facebook about next month's schedule. I am working on it. We'll see how far I get. Okay, this is pretty much the size. I'm gonna trim this here. Give it a little file, unlike the last one where I forgot to file it. Let's see if it's the right size. A little tiny bit long. So I pulled that back out because I want to tighten this a little bit more on the inside here. And of course, I'm doing it differently from the first one because, you know, I sort of screwed up that first one. Trying to squeeze. There we go. There we go. There it is. Is it the same? Pretty much. Okay, we're going to kneel this again. Lost my screen here. So I don't pickle in between a kneeling. A lot of people like to pickle, but you know, I find it just a lot of time. So I don't pickle until I need to pickle. I don't buy into this theory that you're working the fire scale back into your, people say that you're working the fire scale back into the metal. I'm not clear how that can possibly be physically possible. So again, just working things around. Okay, so okay, hold on. There we go. So you know what I'm discovering here as I'm doing this is I have a straight edge, you see, which is quite different from this one. So I am, if I want these two to match up, I am going to have to do it the same as what I did before. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can hammer that down just a little bit and get that to shape and make that bend. I might have to push it back out, but it is what it is. Okay, there we go. There we go. Again, just trying to get the same shape. Pretty close. Pretty close. Okay, so I'm going to file this again a little bit because I feel like that edge is a little wonky, and definitely this one is off. So we're going to take that off a little bit too. Like so. Let's see. They are pretty darn close. Put this on top. Yeah, that's pretty darn close, you know? Okay, I'm going to make one more attempt to see if I can pull this apart. I just wanted it the way I wanted it. Perhaps I was looking at this incorrectly, and I need to do it this way. That would be a no. Okay, so what not to do? Don't go hammering this stuff down. It won't open up. You know, the thing is, it will open up. The reason why I'm not trying like too crazy hard is because I don't want to mar it. If I mar the metal, it's going to take that much more effort to clean it up. So, do I really want to go down that route? Probably not. Yeah. See? It's already doing something I don't want it to do. So we're going to go with that. Okay. I know. No one's complaining. These are going to end up being for me. I don't wear stud earrings very often, but I thought these would be cute. Okay. All right. So the story of the pickle. Let's set this up for a little bit of soldering. Actually, I think I'm going to put it on my honeycomb block. Like so. And put some solder on there. And we're going to solder the 2 spirals right on here before we put the studs on. Because I feel like this is, it's going to take a lot more heat to get this to happen. And I don't want the posts to fall off, right? In the soldering process. So did you miss me being gone for 3 weeks? Maybe. Titus did. Oh my gosh, he was so excited when I got home. I thought he was going to freaking explode. Andy missed me. Didn't you, honey? No wild parties while I was gone? Yeah? Okie dokie. Aw, you missed me, Linda? You were out of town too. So I'm going to put these right on here. So Linda and I were like ships passing in the dark out there on the road. I think I was in Albuquerque the day after she was in Albuquerque, which is sort of funny. Okay, let's solder these. It's going to take a little bit of heat to get this going because the rectangle wire is so heavy. So let's stand up and see if I can see that on the inside. There we go. Took quite a bit of heat to do that. Just double check and make sure it's on. It is. Let's go ahead and throw it right into the pickle. And same thing here. Good. All right, give it a second. We'll do the post and then we'll be done. But you know what I didn't grab? I didn't grab any clutches. Hold on a second. I guess clutches would be a good thing when you're talking about making posts, right? So no, I'm not going to make my own clutch. I'm not clear I know anybody who does. So yes, I have these prefab clutches out here. There we go. Let's just double check the size of the wire, that they fit. And of course I chose the wrong size wire. All right, let me grab another piece of wire here. Let's see if I can find any of my scrap. Probably not. All right. All right, so this was 20 gauge wire and clearly we need 22 gauge. But I will double check that, of course, and make sure that we're good to go there also. So it's a little hard to keep track of days when you don't have me telling you what day it is, huh? Just saying. Okay, let's see. There we go. Okay, so this is 22 gauge wire to go into a clutch. Clearly a piece of 20 gauge snuck into my 22 gauge. Here's a piece of scrap. Let's check that too. Okay, that fits too, great. So we'll go ahead and straighten those out again. You want to go ahead and make sure that your wires are straight right now, because it's going to be easier than straightening them out when they are when they're soldered. Okay. Too what? Okay. So the question is this too thin? Well, it would appear not, because these clutches are made specifically for studs, and if you can't get the wire in, then it's too big. And right now I'm between, so this is 20, right? We'll come in a little closer. So this is 20 gauge, and there's no chance. Oh, wait a second. This one did go in. How come this didn't go in earlier? Maybe this is, that's so weird. Maybe this is 18 gauge. Okay, I take it back. All right, let's see. Huh. That's not 18 gauge. We're going to go with what I think is 20 gauge. Hold on. I'm going to pull out a caliper. All right, let's see what it is. Looks like I have a mix here. So we're going millimeters. Okay, so that's 20. This is 22. And this is 18. So Linda says she uses 21 gauge for posts. I don't have any 21 gauge, so we're going to go with the 20 gauge. I did stick it in my ear to see if it fits, and it seems to be just fine. Yeah, so I would agree that the 22 gauge felt really thin. I just assumed that if it fits through, that's how we're going to go, what you should go with. So, as we're all learning here, let's go ahead and do the 20 gauge. Like so. And you do want to make sure that you're using sterling and not fine silver, okay? It did not straighten out the way I wanted to straighten out. Go. Let's try to not get that mixed up either with the other stuff I have on the side. Okay. Okay, there's our pieces. Let's pull them out of the pickle. I'm going to mark these a little bit just to make sure I know where the center is. I'm going to eyeball that. Okay, and then we'll do the other one too. That makes me happy. All right, so then I'm going to use easy solder because I want this to happen as quickly as possible. And I'll do it free-handed instead of a third hand. You may find a third hand to be a lot easier than to freehand. Depends on how much coffee you had that day, of course. A little bit of solder paste. Let's come in real tight so you can see this. So you could use your Gentech here. If you had one, that would be really nice. Forgot to turn it on, didn't even think about it. but this is absolutely doable. So right to the blue tip with the flush side, with the flush side down. My solder fell off. I don't think this is going to work. Let's see. Oh. Did you see my solder drip to the side there? Whoops. Hi, Erta. Out there in England. Look at that. Soldered on. We'll do another one. A second here. Readjust. And grab a little bit of solder. Do this again. You want to make sure you stay straight up and down. Just try to hit that center, which I did not. There it is. Readjust accordingly. Brilliant. Yay. Okay. Quench and right into the pickle. And then I'll show you how to finish this off. We're almost done. It was a really quick project. It was simple, easy. You know, if you wanted to, you could put a little CZ in the middle for a little bit of sparkle if that floats your boat. But really simple. You can use whatever wire you want. You could have done it with round wire, but this gave it a little bit of depth, right? Again, all about dimension. Let's step away from round wire and amp it up a little bit. That's the goal. Okay, one is ready. There it is. You can oxidize this a little bit if you want it to. We can take out a little bit of steel wool, which, you know what, away from the studio, how did everything disappear? What happened? I need to find some steel wool. Hold on. By the way, if you are looking for another class, we have, or a Zoom class, since you didn't get your fix during VEC, we have hybrid classes next week at Charm Tree Studio in Maryland. However, if you cannot go to Maryland, you can definitely tune in via Zoom. The classes are listed at theurbanbeater.com, but we have the Stone and Stone happening. We have the Knotfuls Gold and a couple of enamel classes. So here we have a little bit of steel wool, just finishing it up. Okay. So I've never actually made stud earrings because it's not, I don't know why, but I've never made them. So here I am making my first pair of stud earrings. And if you wanted to, you can polish these up with some polish, or you can stick it in your tumbler. I'm pretty happy with this as it is. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to hit it with a brass brush. Would make me a little happier. There we go. If you marred or scratched any of this, go ahead and sand it. So let's clean this up. So because we heated this post, it will have softened up and be annealed. And so to make sure that it is hardened, what we're going to do, so apparently this is the trick, according to what I read. It's sort of scary, but I'm going to do it. Okay. First of all, I'm filing the ends, make sure it's not sharp. You know, because you don't want it to be poking you. A little bit of sandpaper on the end. Feel it. Make sure it feels good. So the trick to harden up that backside is to take out your chain nose pliers or flat nose pliers, put it on like so, and give it 3 twists. 1, 2. Ooh. Wow, that did work. Wow. Make sure that's straight again. Wow. You can only do that if you got a good solder. That's sort of cool. Let's tempt fate and try that again. There's a pair here, right? Might as well. Wow. I'm going to trim these to be the same size. So first, let's see, up there. So let me know if you try it and if it worked for you, but I'm feeling these posts and they did tighten up really nicely, which is pretty cool. I know, it was a really scary prospect when I read that. I was like, really? I just feel like I'm going to be twisting it off and breaking that stem off, that post off. But obviously it worked. So the question is, can you roll the post between two bench blocks to harden it? I'm going to say not really, not completely, because, you know, we'll do it here. Let's feel it. I don't think it's enough, because you're just rolling it around. Okay, so it was not a question, it was a statement. Okay. I'm feeling it to see how hard it is comparatively. I'm going to say, It will definitely straighten it. But I think this trick here, okay, so we're going to put this on and we'll do it again. 1, 2, try not to bend it. 3. So I bent it, just okay. We'll put it back in and straighten it out. There you go. Nice. So that's it. That's my Keep It Simple project today. I'll probably end up black maxing this because although this one did not clean up great, this one cleaned up a little too well. I'd like a little bit more depth in it. So we'll put a little bit of black max in there or some sort of oxidant to get that black and give it a little bit of depth. I can see a little tiny bit of marring. I'll take some sandpaper and finish that out. So if you have any kind of marring on your pieces, just take sandpaper and sand it out and then work down the grit until you get to that polish that you're looking for. But that was my Keep It Simple for the week. So we'll see what comes up. I think next week we're going to do start from, what do we call it? Start something new on Monday with Kambu. And I think we're going to push the box clasp off until June. May is looking really busy for me, and we're just trying to keep things up. Don't forget, Charm Tree Studios and the hybrid classes can be found on their website or on the Urban Beater website. So hopefully we'll see you next week. Oh, Friday, we have a Zoom along because I have a lot of stuff to catch up on, and would love to have you guys join me and get some stuff done at the bench. I'll post the Zoom link here probably tonight, and you can find it at the Q Talk Facebook page if you're looking for it. Okay, so have a great day, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the week. It's hump day, so we'll see you on Friday. Bye.